Breaking news, Spurs fans. The San Antonio Spurs have signed De'Aaron Fox to a 4-year, $229 million max contract extension. We knew he was eligible a couple of days ago. It was thought maybe the Spurs wouldn't give him the max contract, given that they have Dylan Harper and they have Stephon Castle. But like I thought and like a lot of other people thought, it was basically automatic. I'm pretty sure the Spurs and De'Aaron Fox agreed in principle to this when they traded for him back at the deadline. So for me, I knew it was going to happen. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter actually say that this was not a good deal. They're saying, Luka Doncic got $165 million for 3 years. De'Aaron Fox is getting $229 million for 4 years. How does that make sense? For me, they're very similar deals. Fox is getting more money per year, more money guaranteed, and a longer contract. But I don't want to say that De'Aaron Fox is not worthy of this contract. I've seen a lot of people say he's not worth the max. He's not worth the max. For me, it's not about whether I think he's worth the max. I think this was the right deal for the Spurs. I think it makes everyone happy. The fact that some people thought that the Spurs would trade De'Aaron Fox because they got Dylan Harper is just mind-boggling to me. Not only do we not know that Dylan Harper will be good, even though I'm pretty sure I think he'll be pretty good. The fact that a player that wanted to come to San Antonio essentially forced his way to San Antonio, and because of that, the Spurs got him on 10 cents on the dollar because they didn't have to trade really anything for him. Because all that happened, and then once you get him, you have him play not even a full year and then ship him out the next offseason, it would be a bad look for the team. So I knew that that was never going to happen. I was pretty sure the Spurs were going to give De'Aaron Fox the max deal. There's part of me that thought maybe they wouldn't do the max deal, because, he did have a pretty off year last year. But I think people, and Spurs fans in particular, forget how good De'Aaron Fox is. And I see people saying that I wonder what the Spurs are thinking long term. The Spurs have been kind of fumbling this rebuild outside of getting lucky with drafting Wemby. No, I feel like ever since we've missed the playoffs, ever since DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, ever since that thing has fallen apart, we traded away DeJounte, we traded away Derek. We've had pretty good picks in Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan. And then we've had some really good picks, especially in recent years, with obviously getting Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. Now, for me, it's a win-win because the Spurs, there's no really downside to this, in my opinion. If Dylan Harper hits and becomes the player we think he will become, then the Spurs will have a really good problem to have, which is you have 3 really good guys that you probably can't pay all of them, but you can definitely trade one of them, and you get to keep the other 2. So, and then there's the option that, what if Dylan Harper doesn't pan out? What if Stephon Castle in year 2 does not develop a shot and kind of regresses? We don't know. De'Aaron Fox is the more guaranteed thing. He's in his prime right now. He is going to be better than Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper next year, unless either one of them really surprise me. So it was right to keep De'Aaron Fox. I think Spurs fans haven't really seen the potential of Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, and they only got 5 or 6 games of it last year. But now they're getting a full offseason together. They're getting a stronger, more matured Wemby in year 3. They're getting De'Aaron Fox back, who has the whole offseason to get used to Wemby and the Spurs offense. And he has a whole offseason to get healthy again, because last year, his pinky finger in his shooting hand, his main dribbling hand, his primary hand, was injured. And I feel like that did kind of equate to a down year for him. His shooting percentage is a little off. Even in games when he was with the Spurs, you could tell sometimes he would lose the dribble with his primary hand, and I feel like it was because of the finger. So for me, I think it was expected the Spurs were going to do this. Yes, would have I prayed for a super dream reality where the Spurs got him on a cheap deal, maybe, but again, De'Aaron Fox deserved it. Compared to what NBA players are getting nowadays, I want to clarify that, because do I think the NBA has a problem of just handing out max contracts to everyone and anyone? Yes, I do. But because NBA teams are doing that, does De'Aaron Fox deserve this max contract? Yes, 100% in my opinion. You have guys like Jimmy Butler next year who are going to be making more than De'Aaron Fox. Jaylen Brown, Devin Booker. Maybe Devin Booker is a little better than De'Aaron Fox, but I think De'Aaron Fox is on that level. I think he's better than Jaylen Brown. I think he's better than Jimmy Butler. Lauri Markkanen is making close to this money. Guys like Zach LaVine are making close to this money. I think he's better than both of them. So for me, it's a pretty good deal for the Spurs. Pretty good deal for De'Aaron Fox. Everyone's happy. You know, I'm pretty sure, like I said, when they made the trade back at the deadline, they in principle were like, okay, we're going to extend you. And they did. So we knew this was going to happen. So nothing really surprising from this. The only really surprising thing I see is that Spurs fans in particular, and just NBA fans in general, keep forgetting how good De'Aaron Fox is and are just ready to throw him away just like that because he played 5 games with Wemby and because we got Dylan Harper. Like, I agree. I think Dylan Harper will be really good. I think Stephon Castle will be really good. I think the future, like future, could be Harper, Castle, and Wemby. But as of right now, we don't know that. And as of right now, we get 4 years, actually 5 years because of an extension of Wemby and Fox for sure. And that's going to be fun to watch. Like I said, we only got a glimpse of it last year. Only got a glimpse of it. So I feel like as a Spurs fan, you should be happy today. Don't let media and Twitter sway you otherwise. Oh, Luka is getting less money per year than De'Aaron Fox, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, to be fair, De'Aaron Fox actually plays some defense, and he's a really good fit with Wemby. I think he's a better fit with Wemby than Luka Doncic, just because Luka Doncic, I feel like, needs to be the number one on a team, personally. I feel like De'Aaron Fox did as good as he could with the Kings being the number one, but do I think he's a true number one on a true title contender? No. But I think he'll be a fantastic number 2. That's what I think. So, for me, really excited as a Spurs fan. We got De'Aaron Fox locked up. Wemby extension, I believe, is extension eligible next year. I believe it'll be interesting to see if the Spurs extend Jeremy Sohan, especially with just getting Carter Bryant. I think the Spurs, what they're doing here, they're not being too... what's the word I'm looking for? They're being smart about this. They're not trying to go too quick. You know, a lot of people would say they got Carter Bryant in the draft. We saw him in the Summer League, excuse me. They drafted Dylan Harper. Let's just trade away De'Aaron Fox. Let's trade away Jeremy Sohan. Let's let Carter Bryant start. It's like, we don't know if these guys are going to translate right now. And the thing is, I think the Spurs want to compete for a championship, want to get to the playoffs next year, and I think they will do it because they added a lot of players to this team, and we are really deep. You look at a lineup, probably De'Aaron Fox will start. I'm assuming Stephon Castle will start, Devin Vassell, either Sohan or Barnes, and then Wemby. I believe that will be the starting 5. You got bench guys then, like Dylan Harper, Julian Champagnie, Keldon Johnson, Luke Cornett, Kelly Olynyk, the other one of Sohan or Barnes that didn't start, and Carter Bryant. So this team is really, really deep, and I think they're going to bank on the fact that they have all these guys. They're going to play them out next year, see who works well with Wemby and Fox and Castle and Harper and all that, and see what works, and maybe make a trade at the deadline if they have a couple extra spaces that they really don't need. But they're being smart about it. They're going to see what plays out, not be too quick about anything, and they're going to see what happens. See who works well with Wemby. See how good we are next year. Because I think at best we get the 6th seed in the West. The worst I think we get is the 12th seed. No, the 10th seed, excuse me. So I think Spurs are in a good spot either way. Glad we got De'Aaron Fox extended, and can't wait to see this future Spurs team. I can't wait for October. I can't wait to see the Spurs play basketball again. What I really want to do, I want to start doing some live streaming to Spurs games, whether it's a play-by-play, watching the Spurs games, or like a post-game. I really want to start doing that. So I can't wait for the Spurs season. Comment down below if you like this deal for the Spurs, if you think they overpaid, if you think that it was the only move to make. Let me know down in the comment section below.